because I mean, we live in a world where billionaires are willing to spend billions and billions of dollars to get us better internet, but wouldn't spend $10 million to like make sure that a whole city or some town somewhere, it doesn't have to be in Africa, has sustainable free energy forever. But they have billions for something else, right? You have billions for data centers, but you don't have, you know, the time or the interest or the money to just give something for free, something that will actually
Look, here's something
liberate
else
people.
about that,
I don't know.
right?
Yeah.
No, it's just I don't know this. I've been going back and forth about this whole billionaire thing, the billionaire class,
Yeah.
and
Stick it to him, Mikey.
no, it's. I think we have this idea that, and I might have even had this issue before until I've sort of had this like realizations now, where we think of these billionaires as if they're supposed to be like some type of gods or something. Oh, you achieved the impossible. So you're like somehow or another, you, I don't know, it's or this genius mind who's figured out the impossible, and you're the superhero. And so you're supposed to now come down from your uh,
From Mount
multi-million
Olympus.
dollar house and help us and set things up for us. And I think that that might be like, it might be like skewed thinking.
I don't
I think
think
that
I
these people are just capitalized on one of those ideas that came through to them, and everything fell into place. And so it's like some normal dude who's very wealthy, and then now he's being asked to do things, but maybe in his head he's like, no, but why don't you do what I did?
that's
I'm not changed now into some person who is this leader of the world now just because I've got zeros in my bank account.
but you see that's and we've spoken about this as well. Look, first of all, they don't necessarily owe us anything in that sense. There's a lot of people walking around with a chip on their shoulders who feel like they owe us something. Sometimes they do because we as governments, so governments are the people, have subsidized whatever it is that they were doing or have been doing or even are doing, right? Um, for them to become that wealthy. I mean, relies heavily on US government subsidies and contracts, which means that it's the money of the people, the US people, that is being funneled to champion this business to be what it is. Without government contracts, without heavy government subsidies, SpaceX would not be here today. First of all, this is a fact. But what I think is more than that is that people are incredulous. So they are shocked, disgusted by the fact that someone has so much more than they could actually spend in a lifetime. And they could be investing in things that will make them rich and build up communities and nations. And they choose not to. They choose rather to spend on vanity projects. So you could be, for example, we spoke about this. If Elon knows that he needs space, he knows that Tesla is heavily reliant on batteries. Okay, cool. He knows these batteries require rare earths and minerals. Cool. He knows that there's an abundance of these rare earths and minerals in the Congo, for example. All things held constant, ceteris paribus. This means that if he wanted to, he could go into Congo, he could speak to the right people, arrange them together, pull them together, pay off the right people, and then set up a mining operation with proper mining equipment, health and safety, good employment, contracts, and get all those minerals that he needs in a way that actually builds up communities in the Congo and still use that to become extraordinarily wealthy. But that's not what he wants to do. You get it? There's the route. You can choose the way that makes you richer and empowers others. But you don't want that. You're only interested in the way that will very narrowly make you richer. And that's what's so shocking. And even in the past, we've never seen something so selfish. I mean, you know, Rockefeller and all these people, for Henry Ford and General Electric, these guys, they would build colleges. They would say, look, we need more people who can actually, who are qualified to actually set up telephone poles. So the Bell Company, what do? They set up a college and they train thousands of people who are now qualified to lay or set up this telephone infrastructure. So you're making money and you're making money for other people and you're giving them education, you're giving them skills. It's a win-win. Same thing with Henry Ford, same thing with Rockefeller. So people all have this mind of like, yeah, I have a lot of power and wealth, but I can't take it with me once I'm dead. And I can choose the path that will also uplift my fellow man. But in today's billionaire class, that thinking is gone. Right? The thinking is gone. You don't have to just give the money away. You can
Look, I do
invest.
get what you're saying,
That's the thing. The
but
consciousness, the
it's
humanity is lacking. You know, it's lacking. And I feel pity for those people. I'm not even angry. I feel genuine pity for those people, for those billionaires. I feel pity for them because I would not want to be caught in that mindset. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that you should give out $100,000 to everyone who comes knocking on your door. No, that's absurd. It's stupid. But you definitely can find ways to build yourself and build your communities, build your countries. They don't want that.
that's not what I'm saying, dude. What I'm saying
Okay, explain more
is
what you're
that
saying. Maybe you don't even know what you're
what
saying.
you're making a point in terms of what is, basically the I'm just sorry, I'm just being distracted in the background.
Try to focus,
Um,
man.
no, what I'm basically trying to say is that on paper, yes, what you're saying makes sense, and it's what everybody should strive to do. But if they're not passionate about that, if they don't hold those values, why all of a sudden would they want to do that?
But why don't they have those
Whether you
values?
agree with it or
Is that not a
not.
failure of our society? Is it not a failure of our
No, but it's
society?
just, but here's the thing, it's coming from the standpoint of, oh, we as other people will never be able to get that money. So we're not going to try to even do that. We're going to look to you now because you managed to figure it out. So now you must come do this now. And
Mikey,
we're not
Mi-
gonna take no for an answer.
Mikey,
And I think that's
I just told you it
I'm
can't.
not
It,
sure if I agree with that. Because
but
why are you saying now that just because Rockefeller did it, and they also did some atrocious
yeah,
things,
of course,
where
no
they
one's
gunned
perfect.
down a bunch of people who were protesting the steel mills, allegedly, in my opinion. But especially with the whole Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos and stuff, there's this idea that they need to do more. And I'm not sure, especially when you're talking about in terms of, and this is where it goes a little bit kooky, but in terms of energy and quantum physics and
Let's leave
understanding
quantum
things
physics out of this. Okay.
from that perspective, they're not doing anything. Anyways, I don't want to.
Bro,
It's
it's a
just
it,
I've been pondering on it more and more
the
lately
thing is this, Mikey.
because there's just so many people who are crying and seething over like Elon and these guys, and I wonder sometimes if it's not just another coping mechanism.
For
That's all I'm
many
saying. I
for
wonder if
for
it's not a coping
You're
mechanism.
right. For many it is a coping mechanism, right? I mean, there's an issue, right? Um the company, your workplace has done something wrong, and suddenly it's all their fault. Even the fact that your wife left you, it's their fault. No, I'm not talking about that. Don't heap up all the world's problems on their shoulders. And you're saying another point you made was, well, why don't we just do it for ourselves? Listen, not everyone needs to be a billionaire. Not everyone
No, but
needs
no one is
to.
saying a billionaire.
Okay, not
Just
everyone.
get yourself financially free at least. Even if that's just a small mom and pop shop that has you having like a better lifestyle and you can help out in your community if that's what you want.
Remember something. Remember something. I don't know how much you know about economics, macroeconomics, or monetary policy, but remember something. The money supply. First of all, money is fugazi. It's not real. Okay, it's just a piece of paper. It's fun tokens.
How dare you?
And actually, a lot of people will be liberated if they realize that money is just fun tokens. Um, it it's regulated, meaning that you can only so much is printed. Every day, money is being destroyed, and new money is being printed. The amount of money that is being printed more, so above and beyond what is being destroyed because it's old or tattered or whatever, or outdated, that's the money growth supply. Maybe it's 1%, 2%, right? That means there literally is only so much moolah, cash, money that is in circulation. So you can be wealthy in terms of, if you are considering your wealth in terms of you have your own farm, your own sheep, cows, that can be infinite. Technically, right? It can be the only limiting factor can be how much food you can grow for your animals or how big your land is. But money is a limited supply, which means that when you have few people with all these fun tokens, it actually does literally mean someone else cannot have it. Do you understand that? Like the central banks of the world print money. There's only so many Chinese yuan. There's only so many American dollars. There's only so many euros that are being printed and that are in circulation. And if you have certain individuals who actually have trillions, it does literally mean someone else cannot have it. Do you understand that? It's a physical
But
limitation.
it's such a,
Don't
honestly, I'm
it's
gonna
not
push
it
back and say
dude.
that's such a limiting belief
What do you mean it's a
that you're
belief?
looking in.
That's Mikey,
No, because think about how much money is in the world. How many
Mikey,
trillions is in the world?
how many
No, no,
billions
just
are in the
answer the
world? How
question.
many billions are in the
How,
world, Mikey?
no, how many
How
trillions
many billion
are in the
people are in the
world?
world? How many billion people are in the world? Tell me. Do you know?
It's like 9 billion or something
It's
these
like
days.
8 billion. So what I'm talking to you about, I'm not talking about a that's why I told you. That's why I told you. If you want to talk about the metaphysical sense, sure, right? If you're talking about how much food I have, how much clothing I have, that can technically be much more unlimited. But if you're talking about actual money, remember, you can't go to your taxman and say, I would like to pay you in cottage cheese that I made at home. It doesn't matter. You can show up there and say, this is $100,000 worth of cottage cheese. He tells you, no, I don't want that. I want money, which means that you have to go to the marketplace and you have to get the money. Do you understand? It's not a limiting thought. It's a physical reality. There is a limited amount of money that is being printed. Do you understand that? Do you understand
Yeah,
them?
but money is also digital. So like,
Yes, but you're not a bank.
people are
Only a bank can do that. Only a bank can take $1 million and then turn it into digital currency, and suddenly it becomes through the deposit system can suddenly say we've got 100 million on the books. Only a bank is allowed to do that. If you try to do that, dude, police shows up, FBI shows up, and is like, hello, cook. We heard you're trying to do this thing here. And then you're like, yeah, but it's a limiting belief. You go straight to jail, brother. Straight to jail. They
dude,
tell you we never.
you completely misconstruing what I'm saying. And
No, but you are
like,
not
especially
trying to.
after our conversation last week,
No, but you're
I
not
would think
trying
that
to.
maybe
Yeah,
you even
Mikey,
had a better understanding of what I'm saying.
Mikey,
But
Mikey.
wait, let
What
me
I'm
speak,
saying
because
is,
you went on about
but
a
you're
bunch
not
of stuff now.
understanding. Try to at least show me that you understand what I'm saying about money being
I know
printed.
what you're saying, but
Okay.
what am I supposed to say? Yes, I
No,
agree with
no.
that
I'm just
part.
trying to make sure you
I'm trying
understand.
to now go a step further with it.
Mm-hmm.
I get what you're saying. There's only so many notes. So there's only so many people who could be, there's only so many people where that could be shared between. That's
Yes.
what you're trying to say.
Yes.
Which is like this whole idea of, anyways, let's leave that for
Mikey,
now.
let's say this. Let's say this. Let me put this. Let's say there's a
What I'm
lake.
trying,
Let's say
no,
there's a lake. Let's
dude,
say there's a
we
lake.
get it. Everybody gets it.
No, but you're not
Okay?
getting it because
Everybody gets it.
you're trying to say it's got something to do with belief. What I'm saying is that
No,
if
I don't.
okay, okay. Say what you're
That's the
saying.
whole thing. Like, you just,
Okay.
I said limiting belief and it struck a nerve. And now all of a sudden you're like,
No.
I don't have limiting beliefs. Like, that's not what
No.
I'm trying to even
Okay.
say.
Say it. Say what you're saying.
Yeah, I will if you let me just speak.
Yes. See.
So, this is what I'm trying to say.
Uh,
If you would let me. And I'm trying to lower my cortisol here because I'm not trying to have a cortisol spike this early. Basically, if we look at the model that we spoke about last week, that you agree with, that I agree with,
just
that there could be something in the fact that there's only one being, one intelligence, everybody else is you pushed out. Basing it off of that, it would mean that there's more than enough money for you as that individual who's playing that game. It would just come down to the idea, the execution, and everything else will take place. The idea that you're talking about the person who's 100 cars away, the background person, and then saying they're not going to have a billion is like, wait, what are we talking about here?
continue. I want to
That's
say
what I'm
something.
basing it off of.
What I will
So
say is this. What I will say is this. The physical reality is that we have enough for everyone. And that's where I agree with you. We are all one. And the physical reality is actually there's more than enough. The fact that you don't have the 100 rand for your groceries, it's not real. In fact, there is enough food for everyone. The fact that, like, oh, we don't have enough food for the people on the streets, it's not true. There's enough food. There's enough food, there's enough sunlight, there's enough water, there's enough electricity, there's enough
Okay,
clothing.
skip the sales pitch.
No, I'm not some sales pitch. What I'm telling you is that this is what I'm talking about. We are sick. I am sick. You are sick in the mind because we're living in this self made state of deprivation when in fact everything is there. It's literally like we're sitting it's like literally there's a lake, a river flowing, a fat river of pure clean water, and you're there with your bucket and you're like, oh, let me get some water so I can drink. And as you're about to dip your bucket into the water, someone comes to you with guns and physical force and is like, whoa, 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 whoa. You can only get water from the tap over there. And it's like, okay, but I see the river is like flowing right here. Why can't I just take my bucket and then I just get my water and I go, no, you're not allowed to. You have to get it from the tap. So you're like, okay, fine, I'll go to the tap. You go to the tap, and then someone tells you, I need 100 beads. And you're like, 100 beads for what? Can I just get my water and go? That's what I'm talking about. You see, that's the problem is that even though, and that's what I think I'm trying to get to is that we have people with so much, and even though they have so much, they cannot allow you to have as well. And the question is why? Because there actually is enough for everyone to have everything that they need. Why is it that a company, those board directors are millionaires and billionaires, but they feel the need to come to you in the deepest parts of Africa and then tell you, you can't grow this sorghum grain because I've patented it? What? What do you mean? You mean the seed that my great grandfather gave me and his great great grandfather gave to him, and now I'm not allowed to plant it in the ground and eat from that? And they're like, yeah, you can't. Because I have a piece of paper and it's sitting in some office somewhere in America, and by that right, you're not allowed to access that which God has given you. And that's the state of depravity. You understand? I mean, every day you're seeing truckloads of food coming out of grocery stores. It's spoiling in the grocery stores. It's rotting there. No one wants it for whatever reason. But just outside, there's a dude. He's dying of hunger. You have clothes that have never been sold. They get shredded, right? Shredded and sent to dumpster heaps. But there's kids that are barefoot and they can't clothe themselves. It's a sickness. We are sick as
Okay,
a
so here's a
society.
question on that. What what are you going to do about it? Like you as an individual.
Well, I've got an AK-47, about 1,000 rounds. I'm just gonna go into the next board meeting
Okay,
and start
this is
shooting.
obviously a joke.
It's a joke. It's a joke. It's a joke.
No,
Please.
don't even make those jokes.
Okay, okay. Um,
It's no. What
obviously
are you gonna
my
do about it? And I don't mean you as in personally. Maybe you've got ideas and stuff. I'm not saying that.
yes.
I'm saying you as an individual generally. What are you gonna do about that? And we can just tie it straight back
What
into
I
Madam
personally am gonna
C.J.
do?
Walker, where it's you're dealing with an absolutely impossible situation, right?
Hmm.
America, 1800s
Not
to
necessarily
the
the
early 1900s.
yeah.
What?
I'm saying not the best, necessarily the best place for a black woman, right?
No,
Like at the time.
100%. And then she does that. But we in 2026 are going to sit and talk about all the reasons why you can't do it. That's what I'm talking about,
I'm not saying you can't
limiting
do it.
beliefs.
I'm not saying you can't do it. What I'm saying is,
The
first of
thing is,
all,
let's go protest with
no, no.
we shall overcome.
The
Let's
protests,
rather go do that
the protests will
instead
do,
of
the protests will do very little to nothing. First of all, there are many people as well who do actually do a lot. So they lift themselves, like Madam CJ Walker, she did it herself, right? She lifted herself up out of poverty, and she could have chosen any business model, but she chose to do it in a way that also empowered black women to make money, right? So she gets to be a millionaire, but she also gives ordinary black women the opportunity to earn a decent income. With that income, buy a
Well,
house.
who else is she going to work with? Do you really think white women are going to be
She
like,
could have
oh, this
gone.
nappy head
No, no,
girl
no,
really has a great idea? Like,
no. She could have, but
no.
she could have obviously.
That was her only workforce, if you're
Listen,
really thinking
listen,
about it.
listen, listen,
And she could only take
Mikey.
people who were free.
You're going on a tangent. It was slavery was already abolished at the time. A. B, she could have just gone through grocery stores or like stores, but she didn't, right? She chose that model. Maybe in the beginning it was her only option, but at some point she could have easily said, now I'm going to do it in stores or something. But my point being,
You forgetting that what you read
you're
was
arguing
only.
details.
No, I'm saying her comeuppance was in the 1800s.
1900, yeah.
That was when she died. Yeah, when she died, it was in 1919 or
Yes,
yeah,
yes,
1919, something like that. The company she started was in 1905. But before that, she was hustling it herself before she had the workforce.
yes.
So what I'm saying is it was devastating to try work in that type of environment for
Yes.
her, but yet she did it anyways. So it's just I don't know, man.
What
Either
I'm
you get
saying,
what I'm
no,
saying, or you don't get what I'm saying, or
what
you
I'm,
want to be right, and then I'll give it to
no.
you.
Right about what? What is the point?
No, I'm saying this is a discussion. It's not like you need to understand my point so that I can feel better about
But it's
everything I've just
not
said.
about, I'm not trying to, listen, the whole point of discussion is to try and enlighten one another. What I'm trying to get to you is this. What I would do, what I am going to do is I'm going to lift, first of all, I'm going to get myself free, which means getting myself off the salary teat. And once I have my own system by which I can get myself off the teat, is two other things I can do. What this thing screen. One, create a good, healthy employment situation for my employees. So being the boss that I would have wished to have had myself. Steady salary, good employment opportunities, opportunity to build yourself up, to become a leader as well, right? And then to try and, for lack of a better way to put it, take as many people with me on this liberation journey. So, not just looking towards someone like Elon Musk or Jeff Bezos or Larry Page to do it for me, but to be the example myself. And there are many people, even like your David Guyam, they do that. And it's beautiful and it works. You know, I have many personal experiences as well with people who were struggling financially as real estate agents. Then they get into their groove, they become multimillionaires as real estate agents. And what do? They share. They find people who are hardworking, but they have a problem getting to work. And they give them like the old car, the old Mazda that they don't need anymore. Yeah, sure, they could have sold the old Mazda for what is basically just pennies to them. But they decide, I'm going to give it to this person so that that person can have that old rickety vehicle, but at least they can get to work every day and they can drop their kids
So
off to
are you
school.
saying that these guys that you spoke about haven't done those types of things in their
No,
personal life
no.
that didn't make a news headline?
Say that again. Say that again.
Well, you're already saying no,
No, no,
no. So
say it
it's like
again.
you
Say
already
it
made your
again. I want
decision.
to
I'm
understand.
saying what you just said, right? Helping someone out that you can see is like a hard worker and not give them the old Mazda. Are you saying that these billionaires haven't done that in their own personal life
No, you
for
haven't.
certain people who needed it? You don't know. How
I
do you
do.
like?
I do. Hold
How
on.
do you
I'll
know?
tell
Are you
you.
following these people?
Don't get
You
upset.
only looking at it like, oh, they didn't create this business in
No,
Congo with
don't get
cobalt
upset.
mines.
That was an example. Don't get upset.
I'm not
We
getting upset. This is what,
you're
for those who
literally
don't
getting
know, I
triggered.
was asked to elevate my performance in the podcast because I was a little bit reserved. Now that I'm being,
Look at this guy
now that
getting triggered.
the
Look
lion is
at
out,
this
all of
guy
a
getting
sudden,
triggered.
calm down, calm down. Like,
Listen,
come on.
brother.
Anyways,
We all
this
know.
is are you not entertained?
Do you